Welcome to the latest on lyndsayking.com, on my Facebook page, and also on my YouTube channel, which is Lyndsay King. And I want to welcome everyone to the newest show and experience that I am presenting, which is going to be themed and called Awakening. So I just want to get clear on what it is that we talk about here at Awakening. And I myself am obsessed with the topic. But on Awakening, this show, we talk about life, we talk about the human condition, we talk about energy, and we talk about quantum physics. But more importantly, we talk about the soul's journey and what it means to awaken, what it means to rise in consciousness, and what it means to start to live into your truth and live into your life purpose. So hang in there, bear with me. I know this is our first episode, so consider it episode number 1 and the launch of this YouTube channel, which I have been working for ages. Today, I am so excited to invite my friend, my colleague, my peer, my confidant, Bjorn Erik Jodahl, who is a mindset and a mental trainer and an international expert on mindset. He's also the CEO of Leadership of Life, which is an exceptional company working to help people find their truth and live into their purpose and build the life of their dreams. And today we're going to talk about ego death. So the reason we're gonna, hey, welcome Bjorn, welcome Erik.
Thank you, Lyndsay, and thank you so much for that nice introduction. It's a privilege being here with you.
Thank you so much. The reason why I chose the topic of ego death is because one of the things that is prominent and that people experience in their lives, we have many different names for it, is a shift, a quantum shift, a leap, a big change or transition that is triggered at some point in every human being's life. And this is a critical time. And this is what I believe is part of the human condition and essential to awakening. And the death of the ego, if I can just quickly explain, and Bjorn, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. The death of the ego in relation to this quantum shift that human beings are conditioned and designed to go through is a dramatic shift in your beliefs, in the way that your life is panning out, in the way you feel about the people, places, and things, and all of your accomplishments up until a certain point. And it's a completely healthy, natural thing for people to go through. But what I've recognized throughout my own journey is that this is not celebrated and recognized in our Western cultures and society. And there isn't a lot of support who are going through this dramatic change and transformation, transition in their lives. So I'm here today with Bjorn to welcome anyone who is interested in learning more about this topic of the death of the ego, when the old self dies and the new self steps forward, the higher self, to take charge and start to lead with the heart in an intuitively led way. So Bjorn, I would love to hear a little bit from you about, your story. And if you've gone through any periods in your life where you can relate to this death of the ego and how it can be quite painful and challenging, and how you kind of came out on the other side.
Wow, that's a big question. Thank you for asking. Very briefly, I have what I relate to as my first point of awakening consciously when I was 11 years old. I didn't understand really what was happening at that time, but I had my time on my bedside asking myself, can I die? And who has not asked yourself that question? Everyone has at some point. My answer, though, was very powerful emotionally. I didn't understand what it was. It was just an emotional belief in that I cannot die. I can remember even that I understood my body will die, but I cannot die. I have lived forever. And I knew I was destined to do great stuff. So that was my first point of awakening. And then, as everyone else, you're part of a society, part of a family, part of a school system, part of a lot of stuff that give you the amount of experiences until where you are right now. And I had my last, and I like the word awakening. To me, that means understanding, conscious about what's really happening inside of you. What is that desire and voice talking to you all the time with the good news? Because the good news are there for a reason. And from where they are, well, we will touch upon that as well. But I discovered that I had that drive in helping people to understand who they truly are. And I have my time working on that understanding. And I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago, it really started. I felt that desire, and it was just a pure desire. I couldn't even have an answer of why. I just had that desire. That was the thing that had most impact on me. And I chose to pay attention to that. I chose to not reject, but I chose to ignore all other influences but that drive and desire. That made me having to make some really hard choices that was uncomfortable according to many areas. I've completely changed my economical life. I kicked off my own company. I resigned from a marriage that was toxic for me. And I did all these choices based upon what drove me inside. And that is my question to you and to all of you listening as well. What is it that you have inside driving you? What is that good voice on the one side of your shoulder, as many people refer to it as? What is it telling you? Start listening. And that is what
That's amazing, Bjorn.
Yeah.
One of the things I'd love to just quickly touch upon is pain that's involved in realizing that the life we've built for ourselves up until a certain point is no longer working. And when we look at the person that we're married to, or we're in a relationship with, or even our friends and our family, and we realize this is not working. I am not in alignment with this situation any longer. And I find that one of the biggest challenges for people, and I just want to add to that, it also happens with work, it happens with career, it happens with your own self-identity of who you've become. And, you know, I always practice the premise that in order to be truly, deeply happy and fulfilled, we need to be free to become the person that we're meant to become, to flourish in our creativity and who we are and the life that we're building. Mm-hmm. And part of the ego death that I've experienced is, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that my life or anyone else's life is bad when we start to experience this shift in identity, this shift in who we want to be, when the calling gets so strong inside that we almost feel like things are toxic to us now, whereas before they were okay, they worked. And how do we start to separate, experience this ego death? And I always say from a place of love, compassion, communication, releasing, and accepting ourselves for who we truly are, so that we can grow into this next version of who we are that usually may look incredibly different to who we've already become. And the only other thing I want to add to that is, you know, understanding that this is not happening to hurt us and tear us down, but this ego death is happening for us to help us evolve into the person that we're meant to become.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of that. What is that ego? And that ego is thinking that you can do everything by yourself with your own effort. You want to do it your way, and you're thinking it your way, and you have your beliefs that is your way. And it's natural, it's even logical for most people to think that I am going to do or whatever it is. But to understand the awakening, first requisite is open-mindedness. And I believe that is what we are seeing so powerfully expanding right now due this time we have on this planet. And the other thing is start asking questions about your own beliefs. I started to ask questions about my own beliefs. And some people would say that, why are you asking those stupid questions? It's obvious. Is it? And the more I kept on asking those questions, I discovered, as most people will discover if they search this information, is that the beliefs that most people are carrying on are coming from outside. It's a programming through our five senses. What you see, hear, taste, smell, and touch, all the repeated information about what is true. The only truth that you have in your life is within you. No one but you can tell how you feel today, what your dreams are today, what you want this day. No one else. Even the best advisors can't tell you. You have the answer. And when you start searching that answer, you're getting conscious and you are discovering awakening.
Thank you. You know, what was coming up for me when you were speaking is this fear to follow your heart, this fear to follow your intuition that comes up, and it's emotional. I feel the emotion rise inside of me, even when I talk about that, because I'm so passionate about this topic, and I'm so passionate about supporting people and following their heart and making these big decisions with ease and grace. And I know, Bjorn, because I know you've made a lot of decisions in your life to get yourself to where you are today, which is happy, fulfilled, grounded, joyous, complete. You're one of the few people I know that has like no mood swings, which is great. You know, congrats on that.
Thank you.
You know, for me, it sometimes felt and still feels at times like a roller coaster. And I just recently went through a whole nother releasing of my ego, where I realized, you know, I always remembered the premise that when you feel that you have no ego and you're not living in your ego, that's probably when your ego is raging out of control, right? I'm so spiritual that I have no ego. That's all ego. I'm so pure and I'm so full of love and I'm so good in my behavior. It's all ego because we can't get rid of the ego. But the death of the old self can feel very unsettling. Changing a career that is our security brings up a lot of fear, a fear of not having, a fear of not having enough, a fear of disappointing people, letting them down, changing a marriage or a relationship, changing friendships that you just no longer resonate with because you're on a different path. And the death of the ego is knowing that there's a calling inside. And I would love to hear any thoughts you have or any tips or advice that you have on how to kind of face these fears and really step into the next phase and trust with this unbreakable confidence and certainty that you are being led to become the person you're meant to become.
You know, I believe that to make a change, ask yourself, what are you changing from? Whatever you're changing from your comfort zone. You're changing from what you are used to into something that you've probably never done before. So you will have some moments of scarcity, of fear, because you don't know what's at the other end. You know what you desire, but you don't know really how will this work. And it's right. I've made some decisions that most people would say is, well, in this logical part of the world, they would say that I'm crazy. Some would say I'm stupid. Some don't know what I've done because I know if I tell them, I just get a heck lot of crap on me and I don't need that. But it's always, every decision has been emotional. It's an emotional journey. But what is so fulfilling is being, how to put it, being confident with yourself. Believe in that energy, in that desire, in that calling that you refer to. I believe every single one of us have a call. And start listening to that. You know, the payback for listening to that is impossible to describe with words. And it's impossible to tell you about in words, because you will have your own awakening. You will have your own journey. It might be completely different from mine. I don't know. I don't care. But at the moment when you start listening to that voice and you simply make decisions, you really dare to walk. And you definitely dare to walk, Lyndsay. You have made a lot of decisions yourself. What do you think when I share what I'm sharing now?
I love that you say dare to walk, because daring to walk is knowing that you're taking a step and you do not know the outcome. You know that your little voice has been whispering in your ear for years and whispering, and it was okay because it was a whisper. You could hardly hear it. You just went about your ego-driven life, which is amazing because that's what we do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that whisper starts to become like a tapping on the shoulder, a nagging. And that whisper pushed down, now it's a nagging. It's like a tapping. And then it becomes a scream. And then it becomes outrageous because things are starting to break down around us that are no longer working. And many people, and this is another topic for another show, but when we hold on so tightly to the ego, we hold on so tightly to what we decided and what we want, and that we're not able to accept the disappointment, perhaps, that's attached to things not working out the way we planned.
It's stubborn.
We're stubborn. We're attached. We're incredibly entangled and enmeshed energetically. We can't accept that, you know, these disappointments, these failures, which are successes, another story, are a part of life. And we become ill, sick, depressed, sad. We experience incredible amounts of anxiety, dysfunction. And that's part of the ego death. The ego is out of control. Ego is like, I'm telling you what to do. And the soul is saying, part of your journey is learning to trust me and to take the next step on this walk and not know where you're going to land, but know that you are moving in the direction in alignment with your purpose and with your joy, your happiness, your alignment, and your fulfillment. And to me, that is really what this ego death is about. And it's incredible, right? It's like everyone's like, oh, it's so amazing when you're on the other side. It's not amazing when it's happening. It's hurt, it's painful. You're facing yourself. You're looking deep inside. You see aspects of yourself that you don't like. You see things in your life that are completely out of alignment with who you truly believe yourself to be. And it's painful. It's a difficult thing. And that's why I wanted to start off today in talking about awakening and the death of the ego. And that's why I know that we both are here on a mission to support the world in comforting this pain and easing the struggle, the challenges that come along with it. And Bjorn, I know you have an event in 9 minutes, which is all about this. So I would love for you to just comment, and also you can tell everyone who's watching about your event and what you're doing and, you know, what your thoughts are on this topic.
Yeah. You know, as I told you before we started today, my intention is all about contributing to awakening. And for those of you listening and watching this, it's only one thing I want for you. Start listening to your inner voice. Start listening to your heart. And we can talk about that in another session, what that is, what that means. But I know that you have a whispering inside of you. Some refers to it as God. Some refers to it as universe. Some refers to it as source. I don't care what you refer it to, but it's there. Because you and I, we are created of the exact same material. We have the exact same potential. And it's all about getting conscious and start getting the understanding of how awesome you are. Thank you so much.
Bjorn, I'm going to release you from our show today. So guys, if you want to check out Bjorn and, follow him on his live event, he's running an event this week in his Facebook group called Leadership of Life. I'm happy if you want to kind of tell people how to find you, because I know you're skipping over there in Digital Town to your event right now, and you have a Zoom call and you're streaming live on Facebook. And I know you're doing some amazing sessions this week.
Yeah, you all are welcome. You can just go to Facebook and search the group Leadership of Life and ask for access and membership, and you will get approved and you will have access to all the things that we do.
All right. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Sending you lots of love, lots of care, lots of spirit and inspiration for your event. And I will check you out later on. Have a great one. Thank you, Bjorn, so much for coming on today and talking about awakening and supporting me in my mission every day.
We are on a mission together.
Wonderful. Thank you. So guys, I just want to share where I'm at with my journey. I have been in a constant struggle around getting on camera to talk openly about awakening. And I've actually been going through my own transformation, because the transformation is never done. And there are times where we go up and we go down and we go through challenges and we make mistakes. And, one of the biggest things for me is letting go of this sense of having to show up perfect. Part of my challenge in doing that is showing up, my hair a mess, and just being who I am. But knowing that deep inside, my calling has been to support this collective consciousness awakening that is happening across the world right now. And knowing that we have millions and millions of people post-COVID, post-pandemic, waking up to their truth, waking up to their soul's purpose. And we are evolving as a race, as the human race here on this planet. And I know that my mission has been called forward to support the awakening. So part of me launching this show today is showing up for you, helping you to understand more about awakening, helping you to understand more about consciousness, about awareness, and how that is an integral part of the soul's journey. That's part of our human condition. So if you like what you see, if you're happy with this, always please share, tell your friends. If you're on Facebook, which is Accelerate Your Life 2021, please hit the invite button, invite your friends into our group. We have live events. I run this show on Facebook, but I also have a YouTube channel, which is at Lyndsay King, and I can help you find that. I'll put the link in the comments below. But I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. I would love for you to like the videos, comment in the videos. Damien, thank you so much for all your comments today. Tonya, great to see you here. Thank you to Bjorn for being such an incredible friend and a support over the course of this pandemic. And, I just encourage everyone to trust that letting go of that ego, that identity, who you are, who you think you were, is a part of the human condition. I want to offer you support and love and guidance in doing that, because as you start to let go and to surrender to the power of your higher self, which is greater than you can even imagine, this infinite potential locked up inside all of us. Things seem like they're breaking down and falling apart, but they're actually all happening for you. And there's a place of peace. There's a place of happiness. There's a place of groundedness and joy when we know that we are fully loved and supported in this universe, and we are perfect by design in the duality of it all, and that our rational mind cannot make sense of it, but our heart can. So I'm going to close out on that note. As I mentioned, I'm launching this YouTube channel, and I'm going to be bringing a lot of content in the next coming months on awakening. And also, I'd love to hear from you if there are any specific topics that you would like to have me discuss live or on one of my videos. So thank you so much for everything today. I'm so happy for all of your support. And I look forward to hearing from you. Of course, if there's anything going on in your life right now and you'd like to set up a call, drop me a DM, send me a message. I'm more than happy to get on a call with you and to do that. Have a wonderful day, Simona. Have a good one. Thank you.